Greetings, CCISD. This is Getting to the Core, and I'm Cary Perales.
And I'm Roxanna Guerrero.
And we are Getting to the Core. It's so nice to have you here, Rox. I'm super excited today because I got to interview Mary and now you. When I think of you, I think of the first time I met you was at curriculum writing for CCISD. And I remember I instantly connected with you. And then we kind of had a journey together. You joined downtown and you became a math coach.
Yes.
And then after that, we moved on together to being in instructional technology.
That's right.
So tell me a little bit about your math journey. Like, how did you get started as a math teacher?
I was curious. I wanted to know what this curriculum writing was all about. Mm-hmm. And so I asked to be on the team and they said yes. And I got there and I realized there were TEKs that we were supposed to be following. And so we got to know those. We got to know the action verbs within the TEKs and so forth. And one of the things we had to do is work backwards. So we started connecting the assessments with the TEKs and so forth. And so I remember there was one teacher that was there with me, and she would cut the questions up and then she would throw everything on the floor, and I started cleaning up because it was getting messy. But she said, no, we'll do that at the end. I just want to see how much work I've done. So I was laughing. I was like, okay, we'll just leave it messy till we're done. And then, so teaching became a little bit more structured for me because I understood that there was a path we had to follow and all together. And so then I had some specialists come to my room and they liked that I was doing different things than other teachers. So I was working with manipulatives. I had the students up at the board. I was asking questions and they said, you know what? We want you on our team. So I became a math coach.
Nice.
Yes. And that was a lot of fun. And sadly, one of the first times I went out to one of the schools, I didn't realize that there were teachers that weren't teaching like me. And it was a very dry and sometimes there were wasted minutes in the classroom. And so I was really sad and eager to help teachers make it a little bit more exciting. And I remember in high school, I said, math can't be this boring.
Yeah.
Math can be a lot of fun.
Yes.
And so I decided, yes, I'm going to be a math coach. I'm going to help teachers. And so whenever I'm able to help a math teacher, I just get so excited. I get giddy. And when they help me, I get more excited because I'm like, yes,
and I think that's what your strong suit is. You really are collaborative. You want to hear what they have. You want to meet them where they are and then move forward. And you want to see growth. And one of the things in the math framework is all about not only the students getting engaged, but the teachers have to be engaged in the content as well. They have to really learn it, know it, internalize it, and then want to then deliver it in a way that is engaging. So what you got to do, which was kind of cool, is now you're part of Instructional Technology. We're very lucky to have you.
Thank you, yes.
But because you have that strong math background, we wanted you to go to the Carnegie, the summer trainings too, so you can bring that extra lens and layer to see what we need to bring back and show teachers when we're coaching teachers in instructional technology with that math concepts. So tell us a little bit about that trip and the journey and then what you're implementing now when you go out.
Yes, very good. So I've gone twice already in the summer. And the first time we went, it was a lot more about understanding the curriculum, their curriculum, Carnegie Learning, and understanding what resources they have. And really, it was how do we change that mindset? Because the new teaching was going to be not directly to the students in that we're copy what I do, and then you go home and do it. This was now going to be, where did this concept come from? How did it develop?
The conceptual
what is this,
part.
The conceptual. What is the understanding behind it? Why do we want to do this? And so it's really hard for teachers because we grew up copying what the teacher did, and we go home, and then the homework wasn't like what we did in class. And I was like, what is going on? And so here, the students get to learn the concept. And I've been in classrooms where the students are speaking the math language, and I get so excited because I'm like, oh my gosh, they're like little mathematicians. So that's a lot of fun. And so that first year that I went, it was all about the resources and what they were what was available for the teacher, and then also how to get that mindset changed. And so the people that went were a little bit more successful than those who hadn't heard about it because they hadn't gotten the change. Excuse me. And then the second time I went, it was now, okay, we know a little bit more. How do we give teachers autonomy? Because it's very scripted. It's very do this, then this, then this. And so I went to a couple of sessions where they had stations. So we brought stations in, and one was online. Excuse me. One was online where they're doing the Mathia lab, and then another was a teacher led, and another one was something that the students had already done that they could do on their own. So I thought that was fun. I went to a session where they had other strategies, and the strategies were like stand up, hands up, pair up. So now you're standing up and you're talking to people in the classroom. And this was really good for the teachers because it was one way that was low stakes to get students up and talking to each other about simple topics. And then as they got comfortable, then you moved into the mathematics.
I love that they're modeling it in the trainings so that teachers get used to doing it themselves so they can turn around and implement it. And I think that's where that engagement factor comes in. Mm-hmm. They want to make sure the teachers learn how to embed the instructional strategies alongside the math concepts, do that, and then go back and implement it. So I'm glad to hear that it's not just people sitting in an audience just listening to someone talk, that they're actually practicing it. Very cool. Did they emphasize any type of, because we come from the technology world, did they emphasize any type of use of technology, or do you see any technology being used alongside Carnegie?
Yes. They did emphasize a little bit, and they're starting to think outside the box as to how they can bring more in. And so one of the things that the teachers can benefit from is that we have slides already prepared for them with the Carnegie pages in them. And so if they can take those slides and open them up in Lumio, now they can do individual handouts, they can do group work, they can do whole class. And in Lumio, you have so much. You have the interactive games. I did a little PD where we did the vocabulary. We did matching. There was a memory match. We did fill in the blank. There were lots of different things there. The other thing that Lumio has is graphic organizers, and it helps the students organize their thinking. One of them is the brainstorm web, and you give them a topic, and they just go at it. They can do text, they can do images, they can draw. And so it really allows the students to be creative in their own way because it's their own individual handout, and then the teacher can begin to see what type of student or what type of learning that student best benefits from.
And I love that because then the teacher can also look at everybody's work. So you have 100% engagement in the classroom. It's not just one person calling on one person to go to the board and write. All of them are required to do the handout, or all of them are required to do the brainstorm. So I think that's the importance of when you leverage technology, you can get a higher percentage of student engagement.
And that's really hard when you don't have technology because you're right. You can call on one student or two students, but how do you get that 100%? And when you use technology, everyone gets an individual handout. Everyone is accountable, and everyone can share what their thoughts are. So I really like Lumio for that purpose.
That's awesome. How did you feel about going with the math background, but a technology lens, instructional technology lens, over there on the trips? Did you feel like the partnership was strong, or did you have a good time bringing in that part?
Yes, it was very exciting because I could see when they would explain a particular strategy or when they did the stations, I was already thinking ahead as to how we were going to bring it to CCISD. And one of the things that really helped was the blueprints, in that I could start bringing in discourse is a big part of it. So why not have the stems, sentence stems or the question stems in the blueprint ready to go for the teachers and the students? And another one was the manipulatives. We could bring those in also. But going back to the blueprints, there are letters to the parents explaining in English and Spanish what this topic is going to be. There are videos per topic that the students can watch.
Yes, I love those videos. And that took a lot of work. But think of the time that you've saved teachers having those in there. Tell me a little bit more about what do the videos have in them?
So it's a professional teacher explaining a topic and explaining how that topic is going to be developed throughout that lesson.
That's incredible.
Lessons. Yeah. And they're really good, and they're short. They're some of them 2-3 minutes, some of them about 6 minutes or so. But I really like them, and we were able to put those in the blueprint so the students have access to those and can move ahead if they need to.
And those of you that don't know what a blueprint is something that we can build at the district level and push it out to every single teacher. Yes. So it's a huge time saver. saver for teachers, and we can make sure that it's equitable, that every teacher and student has access to those materials. And we continue to work harder on that too.
Yes, very good.
So Rox, I really appreciate your partnership with the math team. I think it's incredible having this collaboration. Really will move our district forward, and I enjoyed having you.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. Yes,
Awesome.
I appreciate it.
Well, that's the end of this Getting to the Core. I'm Cary Perales.
And I'm Roxanna Guerrero.
And we are Getting to the Core.